You come to order? First of all, y'all join me with a prayer. Good gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful Lord's Day. We just thank you for leading us, guiding us, Lord. Lord, we ask you just be with us tonight during this meeting. We have a few people that are sick and haven't needed our prayers and everything. We just bring them before you today. Lord, we ask you also just lead, God, direct us tonight as we go forth in this meeting. We give you all the praise and glory. In Jesus' precious name we ask. Amen. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight to our meeting. And like I did say, we've got some folks that are out due to illnesses and everything, so we're going to do the very best we can tonight and get this done. So with that being said, I will do the roll call. Curtis is here. See Jeff. Oh, he's hiding back here. I see him back there. There she is. Miss Sue's here. Tyler's here. Please keep your thoughts and prayers in for Franklin. He has had surgery again. And I'll again lift him up in your prayers. I'm here. Miss Sherry's here. Miss Virginia's here. Mr. Mr. Warren is still recuperating from his surgery. So, all right. So our thoughts and prayers are with you too, sir. And he's here on Zoom, so he's here assisting. So with that being said, we will move forward with the approval of the agenda. You've had a chance to look at it.
Move approval of the agenda.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next, we have the approval of the minutes for the December 2nd Town Council meeting.
Move approval of the minutes from the December 2nd Town Council meeting.
I second.
All right, again, we have a motion with a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Public participation. When you get up before we ask you to please approach the stadium, the podium, speak your name, and clearly state your full name and address for the record. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. We try to do that in our best. So, with that being said, do we have anybody tonight sitting? Moving right along then. Information items. Wednesday, the 18th, Walker-Sassel Water and Wastewater Cooperative Board meeting will be held in Cedar Key at 1 o'clock. Everyone is asked to come if you wish to. It is open to the public. Town Hall will be closed on Monday, December the 23rd and the 24th, and Wednesday, December the 25th for the Christmas holiday. Bread for the Mighty Food Bank will be held on Friday, December the 26th, after Christmas at 9:30 at James Cobb Park.
27.
Did I say that?
No, we said 26.
Thank you. That's the 27th. Our next town council meeting will be January the 6th at 6 p.m. here. The Lee County Legislative Delegation is Tuesday, January the 7th. That will be at the Annex Building in the courthouse at the old school. And that is at 1 p.m. Dr. Martin Luther King Parade is Monday, January the 20th at 12 p.m. For all those that, and that will be held, where's that? Williston, yes. All right, and Bronson Middle High School Student of the Month for August, as presented by our councilman, Miss Virginia has the honor of doing that, so we will give that to her. You go.
So we only have 2 tonight. And I have the pleasure of presenting Trey Tucker. And Caleb Edwards. 2 two amazing kids. All four of these kids, though, that won are absolutely amazing.
Nobody here.
I get it, you're not here.
Nick is here.
He's not on the paper.
No, but he's not for the same month that you guys are. You guys are for,
September.
yes.
These two are
September.
August, right?
Yes. So yours will be next month?
No, we're doing them all tonight. We're doing August and
Right.
September tonight. We gotta
Oh,
play catch
okay.
up. But you wanna do separate pictures. Let's do one for August and one for September.
Right.
Okay. Congratulations to both of y'all. Y'all both well deserved. Thank y'all.
It's not on the credit. Go ahead, that's one.
It's his over there.
Another.
No,
These are not
Where
yours.
they're at.
That's what I'm saying.
What month was Nick student of the month?
September?
No, it's not on here. It's Kalisha?
No, Nick was,
November.
November, yes.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
so,
sure Nick was
yeah,
November.
August and September.
Yeah, we're doing
So
August
it's
and September. Oh, sorry. Did Vicky call you and ask you to come tonight?
No, I rode behind the.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I
these
thought
are-
we did it wrong, so yes, it's gonna be next month. We're trying to play catch up a little bit, so I apologize for that.
It's probably gonna be on the second,
The 6th, we're gonna do, October, November, and then the second meeting in January, we'll do December, then we'll be caught up. So we're just behind.
so it'll be like the third Monday in January, right?
First meeting.
First meeting,
First meeting.
Second.
for October, November.
First meeting for October, November.
Right.
So it'll be the 6th, January 6th, that's the next
Yeah.
one.
Okay,
Yep,
so it'll be
Yes.
January the sixth.
3 weeks from today.
And we won't be in school yet, I don't think,
Mm-mm.
so I won't be able to remind you, but
That's fine.
if I see you, I'll try to remind you. But congratulations.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Yes, sir. Congratulations, Trey, congratulations, Caleb.
You got the pictures and everything.
Yep.
Good. All right.
Y'all don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting if y'all don't want to.
Thank y'all for coming. Appreciate it. And now we're fixing to do this. All right. It is a great honor of mine.
Wait. Come on, baby.
Come on, Kalisha.
Let me get this one.
We have, thank you. We have.
And that's Russell's granddaughter, by the way.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Wait, she gonna get you up there.
But do we got the right one? No, I'm playing.
I didn't think about what they had on today.
I know.
Yeah.
Here you go, baby. Congratulations. Don't drop your card. That's the part that counts.
Perfect.
Congratulations.
And thank you, Ms. Schuler, for nominating her.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Schuler.
You are.
Hey, all right. Moving right on along, it is a great honor of mine to present the recognition that should have been done a long time ago, that I've known my whole life, I reckon. Robert and I, we went to school together, we were classmates, so we go back a long, long ways, and he's always been here, as long as I can remember. Mr. Gibb? I gotta get up here.
Yeah, I should say, you might want to be on the opposite.
I keep jumping over the counter.
Please don't do it. Please don't.
Let me get my phone.
I'm gonna go to him, that's fine, it's perfectly fine. On recognition of you and a part of this community that you have been a part of, like I say, I've been here for 71 years, so that's a pretty good time. He's been here longer than that, so. You wanna tell us how old you are?
103.
Awesome.
That's amazing. So here is a token of our gratitude to you, to the town of Bronson, in recognition of Give Patterson Day which will be July the 18th of 2024 from this day forward. Thank you, sir, so much.
Mr. Patterson, can you look up here? Can you look up here?
Good luck, Dad.
Look up, you're gonna take a.
Gonna take a picture of it.
Look up.
There you go.
Take a picture of it.
Look up, look up.
Let me see. You want me to hold this?
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's fine.
Yeah,
Right there.
That's perfect, right there.
Out there.
You got it. Very good.
All right. Thank you so very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. All right. Right over there. Next up, Sue, you have the floor.
Okay, so first up, I was asked by one of our residents to have GFL come in to address some of our resident concerns. We started, I think in August of last year, we put together a spreadsheet for anytime anybody called with a complaint. I might be the only one that's actually, it's a shared spreadsheet between everybody in the office. I'm probably the only one that's really using it, but in the last 16 months, I've had 23 complaints. GFL has a copy of all of them. 21 of them are missed pickups. Last Tuesday, specifically, the driver left a note, which I have, and I told Kevin I would give it to him, on the house of Miss Carolyn Lewis of 349 Glover Street, stating that the garbage can must be out by the curb at 7 a.m. on Tuesdays and Fridays, and then asked her to place her garbage can across the street from her house, which she's never had to do before. So that's kind of what precipitated me asking Kevin to come here today. I did explain to him today when he called that one of the other concerns that we've had for a while was trash kind of flying out of the truck, as you may recall back in the day. I have not had any calls about that, so that's the one good thing is that we don't have that issue any longer. But we are still having missed pickup issues, and then obviously we had this with the 349. So I'm going to give you that, and then I'm going to go ahead and let you. I'm going to let you explain. Yes.
Yes, good afternoon. Council members. I do unfortunately have the pleasure of coming up here on the request of complaints. However, I have spent some time with Ms. Carolyn in the back, and we have been able to talk through some of the issues in regards to what my guys are communicating out. You know, I've been servicing this account since 2016, since I've been here. This is the first time a request like this has been made. And I'm not punting or passing the ball, but I did bring my fellow managers, operations manager Dwayne Harding, and also Supervisor Daryl Eads for a couple of reasons. One, my face has been coming up here a lot, which I will continue to do, and I'm not trying to skate out of anything, but the real reason why I invited them is so they can see how close-knit this place is and how much your community means to each one of you and the things that you participate in. So I wanted them to be able to experience that. What happened with Ms. Carolyn was unfortunate. I think between her and I, we've come up with a conclusion that her trash can does not have to be moved. There is a young lady that used to live at the end of the street that has since moved out, and that may have been some of my driver's decision-making issues at the time, but rest assured, with these two individuals right here with myself, you will not, Ms. Carolyn, have that issue again.
Thank you.
I know there has been also some changes when it came to drivers that we have had. We are confident that we can spend some time with our employee, that we do have the right person behind the driver's seat, that it will not happen again. With the other 21 service infractions that happened over 18 months, like, you know, when I do the percentage of it, we're still at 99%, but it doesn't matter because we're not at 100, and that's what we agreed to do, and what we agreed to be at. So, again, we will continue to work through. We value our relationship with the town. I like the fact that, you know, Sue and I, there is no red tape for her and I to talk.
Absolutely not.
Which I appreciate too. You too, Mayor Parton. So I just want to apologize and then I have
So did you have a chance to look over the accounts that I gave you specifically and come up with any sort of reasoning as to why those were skipped or what was going on those days?
No, so I did get the list, I'm still coming through it right now. Some of them date back, it's like 2023, but regardless, I don't want to just put you on pause, but I do want to give you the correct answer, I just don't want to make a big thing.
Okay.
So I was off the last couple of days, and I just want to get caught back up.
Okay.
All right, anybody on the council have any questions for Ken?
Is the trash supposed to be at the curb by 7 a.m.? Because if that's such the case, have we sent that out so people know that?
I don't know, but I can. I mean, isn't that always the way it's been here? I assumed.
No, because I can tell you during the summer, they don't come at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Well,
So it
now it's
you just need to be
out
there
by
at 7.
Now they only
That's the first, yeah,
come early one day a week.
yeah.
They don't come, the other day is not early.
So for us, I can kind of loop all this in together. I think that 7 o'clock then throws people off. What we need is for it to be out at 7, but we're here for the duration of the day.
Okay.
Depending upon how much trash is out there, that's why,
It might not get to you.
most of you Facebook Tuesday, Fridays, I know where you live. We check that box. So yes, I know we don't come at the same time, but it's because not all the rest of the residents have it out at the same time. It's different things that we come across in a given day. Those times do change, but we're here throughout the course of the day. And there has been definitely some things when it comes to the businesses with the 96 gallon carts that we've worked our way through, and we'll continue to do that as well, because there was also folks that get stuff before.
Yeah, but we have a lot of moving in and out, so it might be good for us to send that out so that people who are new to the area understand that they need to be out.
And I'll volunteer us, because it's right about 450. What we can do is going into the calendar year, I think I can get with our tag manufacturer, I can get some things, hey, reminder, please have it out by 7.
Okay.
So people see these stickers on our cans, that I do ask to communicate, because not saying that we're not picking it up, but just a friendly reminder of, and I think we'll also do it, we'll true up with you, Sue, the holiday schedule, because how holidays fall, and have that on that sticker as well, so people will have something to put in the refrigerator.
Okay.
That's perfect, and I'll take that. It'll be no cost to you guys, we will do that.
Curtis, are we good on canisters? I mean, I know we keep some on hand for replacements and stuff, okay? I had
We know
some-
we order them.
You my favorite person, you don't understand. All the municipalities I have, I might give you out 30.
Yeah.
I hate to be, somebody asked me about that here 2 or 3, and I told him to call Curtis, that'd be the person to get, but I can't even remember who it was right now. And I never did hear back from him, so they must have got one, so that's right.
What else y'all giving away? We got some basketball games we sell.
I'm trying my best to keep mine. I don't want to take away from the town's time, but I know you have no problem reaching out to me, so whenever you ask specifically, we will definitely love to be a part of it.
They can use the gym sign.
Sure,
I'm all over it. I'll let you get the information. Everybody, yes,
I'll
ma'am.
send it to you tomorrow.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Merry
Thank
Christmas,
y'all for
everyone.
coming in person.
Thank you.
I'm right here. Yes, sir.
Here again, far as Calvin stretch can, I'm involved in that too. I take them out around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, sir.
But I was surprised when she called me about the cans on the other side of the street. See, I take them out and she likes to exercise, so she volunteers to bring them in. And then that's when she told me the cans was on the other side of the street. But I just heard you talking to her, and I think we got it worked out.
Yes, sir, we do.
And I think.
Very well. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen. No way for Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Sue.
Okay, so is this the third time we'll talk about 408? Hopefully the last. Go ahead and we'll read the title into the record. Ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Bronson, Florida, submitting to the electors a proposed revised and updated new charter making changes designed to remove antiquated references and conform with existing statutes and standards and particularize matters of council procedure, providing for direction to the deputy clerk, providing for conflicts, severability, and providing an effective date of the ordinance and for the approved members. Okay, so in your packet, you will have a couple of things that are changed from the last time we looked at this. On the actual ordinance, page 2, under section 2, amendments to the city charter, per the council's request, we separated, so that the referendum would show 3 separate questions. So the first question will say, shall the new revised charter call for the direct election of the mayor by the voters rather than the selection of the mayor by the council as provided for in the existing charter? The second question would say, shall the election of council members by seats as presently prescribed be eliminated with candidates running at large for open seats and the candidates getting the most votes elected without reference to any particular seat? And then the third one was exactly like we had before, pretty much. We took out those 2 little sections above. And it talks about the, adding the town manager and the 45-day probationary period and the procurement from 250 to 225,000, all that sort of thing. So this is exactly what we talked about before. So the voters could say yes to 1 and no to 2 and 3. They could say yes to all of them, no to all of them, but there would be 3 completely separate questions on the ballot for April 1st. Questions about that?
Any questions?
Okay.
Was those the only changes that we needed to?
That's the only changes to the ordinance. There's nothing changed to the business impact estimate, that's the same. And then in the charter itself, if you look at pages 5, which I think are all 5, they are in green. I'll read you exactly what's different. Section 4, qualifications of candidates, now says, 14, qualifications of candidates on page 5. Any registered voter, before it didn't say registered voter, you need to be a registered voter to vote, meeting the requirements of the town charter, may become a candidate for any of the elected offices of the town of Bronson by filing all qualification documents as required by law with the town manager or designee thereof, so it could also be Wendy, his or her desire to be a candidate for such office at least 71 days, no later than 4 p.m. Prevailing time prior to the scheduled election. Formal notice of the election shall be promulgated at least 81 days before the election, and notice shall be given by publication of a local newspaper, blah, blah, blah. And then we changed that last paragraph. This is the one where it said if nobody was running for a seat, then basically the person who was in the seat and not running for election would stay there. The last sentence we changed to say, if the incumbent shall for any reason be unwilling or unable to serve, the town council by majority vote shall designate a qualified individual to fill the vacancy pending the next scheduled election.
Excuse me, so I know it's not time for me to talk, but could I ask where you all might discuss, as we get older or younger, however, we have hearing condition, and I'm not hearing you well, and when I come, I want to know what's going on.
Okay, we're talking about changes to the town charter, is what we're talking about.
I know, but you all don't have any mics?
We do not.
What you talking about, I asked about this years ago, about you all having microphones. I think BS does the same thing up here. But you probably went to some meetings in different towns and they have them. And I think you told me at that time, you were gonna see about getting them all.
It's something that Nick and I are working on.
I'm not criticizing, but I like to hear what's going on. If
Right.
I'm going to come.
I understand.
These go to the computer?
It's basically, it's for, yes, for that.
Yeah.
Right, for attorney law. Okay, then section 15, the general election, the only thing I changed there, which thank goodness Tammy caught this, is the general election shall be held on the first Tuesday in April of each odd year for the purpose of choosing elected officers in the town of Bronson. That said second Tuesday because it originally, in the charter right now it says second Tuesday in September. So I didn't catch the second, so she caught it and said it was supposed to be the first Tuesday. So that's the only change in that section. And then 16, town manager to be the judge of qualifications and election of members. And the very first sentence says the town manager or a designee thereof. So again, we just wanted to make sure that, it's really Wendy and I that both do this together, that qualify people. So we just wanted to make sure that that was clear.
So go back, the last paragraph on 14.
Yep.
It says, only one qualified candidate for the election seat to a seat on the town council or to become mayor. Such candidates shall be entitled to occupy the office sought and confirmed and invested accordingly. Okay, so the green is like messing with my eyes, so I can't read that.
So
So
it says-
read that last part again.
Yep, the incumbent shall, if the incumbent shall for any reason be unwilling or unable to serve,
So that's the person that's in office if nobody goes against them.
yep,
Okay,
right? The town council by majority vote shall designate a qualified individual to fill the vacancy pending the next scheduled election.
so they would be in all the way until,
If they want to stay. If.
oh, okay. So, all right, so nobody runs against you.
But you're not running either technically.
Right.
Then, if you want to stay, you can stay till the next election.
Right.
If you don't, town council can.
We had to change this section a little bit because the way it works, and I'm going to use Tyler's seat as an example because this is what happened with him. So when he ran, he ran unopposed.
Right.
It doesn't even go on the ballot. In the original charter, it says that it goes on the ballot because in most states, you would still go on the ballot and have a write-in candidate.
Right.
That's not the way it works in Florida. So says Tammy. That's what she said. So he wasn't even on the ballot.
Right.
So let's say the same thing happens. Let's say that his seat's up for, what's that? Your seat's up for election, nobody runs for that seat. We would basically say to him, do you want to stay? Do you want to stay for 6 months or a year or whatever? And he can if he wants to because there's no one else running. Or if he doesn't and no one runs, you guys would have to appoint somebody.
And they are on until the next.
The
Correct.
next 2 years.
If that, I can't imagine that ever happening because obviously if he doesn't want to run, he doesn't want to run. He would normally qualify, but, So Attorney Warren's gone over this, I've gone over it, we asked Tammy to go over it one last time. We think that this now encompasses all the changes that we need. I'm hoping.
My only question would be on that, what makes the person qualified? Like, would we just set up here as a council and pick random people? Because obviously if nobody ran for a spot, nobody was trying to get it. So how would we come about picking a person to go in that spot if nobody ran for a
They've
spot?
been doing a point system previous to us, right?
For him,
No.
we asked people to put in a letter of interest, which I think we got 5, if I'm not mistaken, 5. And then we basically put names in a hat because the council didn't want to choose. And then that's how we chose Tyler's name. I mean, you don't have to do it that way, I'm just.
No,
that's how we did it.
I'm just saying how, I wouldn't understand that that you would do that and they didn't run in the first place when the seat was open. So then you would then reopen it and then allow people to apply and then they wouldn't have to be elected. They would just be drawn randomly.
That's how it happens in most cities. If somebody doesn't run, they do an appointment. They have to fill the seat. You don't want the seat to stay open for years.
I'll tell you how they did it when I got on here. In 1983, Dogan Cobb came down there and drugged me down at the station down there, drugged me up in here and says, hold your hand up. And that's basically how it happened. And I'm being facetious about it, but it was just like him and Mr. Sidney Cannell and all them, they were sitting here and says, yes.
Do you have to, okay, so when you guys advertise for that, do we have to put in there that we have to advertise it for so long for people? Do we have to put in here what the process is gonna be for selecting that person from the council?
I feel like it might have been in there someplace else, but I have to find it.
Yes, it's in there's a thing that says, because it's in the same section where the tiebreaker and all that.
Oh, yes, you guys passed an ordinance about the
Yeah,
tiebreaker.
the
Yes.
tiebreak, it's in the same
Yes.
thing, it's a tiebreaker and the.
You will be surprised at the people that would sit behind this desk, but they don't want to run for this desk. I mean, I'm serious when I say that. They don't want to get out here and do all the political stuff, but now they would serve if they were appointed. So, that's another story.
Okay. I was just asking.
All right, is there any other?
No, that's it, that's everything.
Okay.
Like I said, if we can pass this tonight, then we have, the second reading will be scheduled for the 21st of January, which is the week of qualifying, so that we can get this on the ballot. And we can get it on the ballot.
Because this is our election.
This is it. If this doesn't happen tonight, then
All right, pleasure of the council.
I make a motion that we accept the first reading of resolution, is this?
Ordinance.
Of ordinance 24-8 to amend the town charter.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Carries.
No more green highlight.
I know, sorry, I didn't realize those were gonna print like that. I know it's terrible.
That's Christmas green.
It was Christmas. I probably had Christmas on my mind when I did it.
All right.
Okay, so the next thing that's up is gonna interest Mr. Williams. So he was in my office asking questions about people not attend, council for not attending meetings. And I decided to go on to the Bronson Municipal and I literally typed in the word compensation to see what would come up. And interestingly enough, ordinance 2010-02 came up. So this was passed on August 2nd of 2010. And I'm just going to read it for the record so you hear it. It says, an ordinance amending ordinance 98-1, providing for the salary of the town council persons, vice mayor, and mayor of the town of Bronson, to provide for the payment of your actual or necessary expenses in the performance of your duties, and to provide an effective date and to specify payment per meeting attended. So I don't know if the council pay changed at that point, but it's basically where the councilors now make $250 per meeting, the vice mayor makes $300 per meeting, and the mayor makes $400 per meeting. But you have to attend the meeting to get paid.
To get paid.
So this has been in effect since 2010. No one told Wendy and I about this when we started, so obviously we've been paying people for every meeting regardless
They
of
were
whether or
doing
not they
it the
attend.
same way before us as well.
So, my question for the council is, do you want us to now enforce this, or do you guys want to repeal this? Because this is a standing ordinance that has been on the books for 14 years.
That we haven't used since,
Well, we haven't been doing it since 2021.
and I
because
know
we didn't know
that
anything about it until I started doing some digging.
when Melissa and them were here, they weren't doing it either. Because otherwise she would have told you.
Right.
And Kelly has been gone
A really long time.
about 15 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can do either, I mean, but this is technically an ordinance that was passed back in 2010. It can be repealed if you want to repeal it and keep it the way it is right now, and you just get paid regardless if you go to one meeting, 2 meetings, no meetings.
But the law say different.
Current law says different, correct?
I don't want to say we're gonna be dirty. All that.
Does sickness take effect in there anyway or all kinds of things?
Well, there is kind of a clause in here that says, salaries shall be payable to aforesaid municipal officials notwithstanding absence at a particular meeting if such absence is excused for good and sufficient reason. So, yes, you could tell me ahead of time that, you're hospitalized, and I can bring it to the council and say, how do you feel about paying Councilor blah blah because they're in the hospital? And if everybody agrees to it, then yes, we'll just keep paying them. So I mean, yes, there's kind of an out of years too. I think the point is that if you just, it's like working. If you don't show, don't call, don't anything, then you wouldn't get paid for that.
That's not the case.
Listen, I'm just bringing to you what has been passed
So,
for me.
So if you attend on Zoom, is that still attending?
I would say
meetings?
attending on Zoom is still attending. Yeah, I think this is meant to say, I mean, obviously in 2010 we couldn't have predicted COVID and Zoom meetings and all that stuff, but I think the point is people who just don't show.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, I mean, again, were you here in 2010? Do you remember this at all?
I was here in Columbus. I feel like it sometimes.
Well,
2010,
Kelly was the town clerk and Franklin was the mayor at the time, so
No, I was not.
you were not,
I
okay.
was not on the council, so that's when I was working with the insurance.
So like I said, I don't know if this came about because the salaries increased. Were you here? Do you recall this at all? This is for you also, right?
I thought the salary was different than what you just said.
No, the salary's 500, 600, and
But I
800.
thought the mayor was at 800.
Right, is 500 a month for council, 600 for vice mayor, 800 for mayor. So that's been, I mean, like I said, at least since 2010. I don't know what happened prior to that, but.
Now, where I feel about Councilman Shore, he really is. He can't help that. I'm wondering,
Like I say, I don't think that falls under the category we're here. I mean, we're not discussing that, it's just, like you say, that person that just blatantly just does not come to the meetings.
That's not the issue. Like, when I missed the last meeting, I had to work, and Sue was aware that I had to work. But that's the issue at question. So, let's call a spade a spade. So if the question is, am I gonna not go to work when I have a council meeting? The answer to that is gonna be no. The people that elected me were well aware that I was a coach and I worked at the school when I was elected. As a matter of fact, it's on my sign. I let Sue know. I still go through the stuff. I still call. I still ask questions. But my 9 to 5, what I get paid for every day, and my kids come first. And if I don't make it, I don't get back on. It is what it is. But my job comes first because I gotta eat and I gotta pay bills more so than that check pays me. So if that's gonna be an issue, it doesn't matter to me either way, but I don't just not show. There hasn't been a single time when I haven't missed a meeting that she did not know in advance, or I didn't tell them when it was on the date that, hey, I have a game, or I have such and such. So it's not that I'm just not showing up, but I'm not retired. I have to work. So we had a game that night, and I have to be there. If you don't believe that I have to be there, ask Wingy, ask Virginia when they get there, am I not working? I'm not sitting, I'm not hanging out at the basketball game. I have administrative duties, and there are certain games I have to be there. I have to make sure the officials get there. I have to make sure the concessions run. I have to make sure the games run on time. That's my job. I get paid for that. That's my responsibility. So that is why I wasn't there.
I think, and I know, not by myself, that the principal and the superintendent saying that you can get someone to substitute.
It wasn't the superintendent, it was the principal and the dean at the time, but also in her position, if you go to a game, you'll see what I'm saying. If you don't go to a game, I'm just speaking Spanish to you. But if you go to a game, find Sherry at the game, first of all. Because what people tell you they'll do versus what they'll do is two totally different things. There's been so many times where she's supposed to be coaching and she's over there doing the book because don't nobody else know how to do the book. Ain't nobody showed up to do the book. Ain't nobody showed up to do the scoreboard. She gets a student that has graduated several years in advance, which is Wendy's daughter, to work the scoreboard when she can. She don't have a whole lot of people that know how to do it that's pulling up to assist her. And the same people that told you that she could get that, those are the same people that are sitting in the corner in the chairs not doing anything. Mm-hmm. And I promise you, pull up to the game and look and see what I'm saying.
Well, I can give them here. How about that?
And it's not your responsibility to go to my job and ask my job what my responsibilities are. I don't have to lie. So, and the principal that you talk to is no longer at our school.
Is she coming when she don't have that obligation?
Yes.
That's what all we can ask.
Well, the way I feel about the job in general, the Tyler might as well do that. The mayor might as well do that. The mayor got a farm, you got a business I just learned. You can do the same thing. Now, who's gonna make decisions about the town?
But hold on now, because if they get a massive call right now, I don't expect Tyler to stay here. I expect Tyler to get and go.
Structure fire comes out, I promise you I'm different.
Yes. and what you're failing to see is that her job, her 9 to 5, is an act of service as well. It is also an act of service. being in the school system. And we have to protect those people, like we're protecting the firemen, like we're protecting the EMTs. We gotta protect our teachers, especially the ones that's done left, could have went anywhere and stayed here.
Well, the way I look at it, I think the people of Bronson put everybody in.
Amend it so that it state that if you have a job with your previous job, you cover it so it don't be this.
Well, either that, or what we could do is, whenever somebody's out, you guys could make a vote as to whether or not you want to pay that person to be out, whatever the reason is. So Sherry can't be here tonight, you know, is everybody okay with paying her? She has a game, or whatever the situation is. And then that way it's on the record, and, you know, I mean, it technically goes under that one section.
Okay, could I ask a question? Do you have on your records where a member can be out so many times or late
No.
so many times?
No.
If you don't have that, then leave the child alone.
You're not.
Don't pretend you have a call now.
You got a call?
Oh,
Right, phone call. Hello?
Better be Jesus.
It should be. It should be Jesus. No, that's another issue.
I mean, well, section 3 says it's for a good and sufficient reason. I would think my job would be a good and sufficient reason. It already says that.
It is, your job is more important. It is. I've been there.
I don't understand.
If I would have a job out there like that, I wouldn't want to be a councilman.
Then you didn't, but I did, and I got elected, so let's move on.
Well, you got elected that time.
Hey, and whatever happens, happens. There's nothing I can do about that, Mr. Elijah, but you making it seem like I was home laying on the couch looking at TV, and I wasn't.
And I don't understand how you expect for her to look at these 10, 15 girls in the eyes and then not show up to do her part. Like, that's crazy. And
Well,
she's been working with these girls for this whole time.
Well, you got an ordinance. Let's see, and you can vote. So that's that.
Okay,
There's nothing wrong with the ordinance as is, to me.
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, we can decide if it's excusable or not, and then
There you go.
that's on those.
You got it on.
I mean, I can tell you, like, I start school in January. I'm probably gonna miss 7 meetings in a row. Be straight up with you. So,
Now that's a problem.
all right.
That's what you do.
Pleasure of the council.
So that y'all cover it.
I think we have a choice. We can go one way or the other.
we can amend it to say, you know, pre-existing duties, jobs.
I think we should amend it to say to the council's discretion.
When you say,
Because, oh,
that's gonna be a problem when you get 5 people that don't get along.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm not saying that, but it could easily,
Yes.
so you put it in amended so that it's a standing order, and then nobody up there can change it unless you amend it again.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Warren, you got any suggestion on this?
I'm just listening, and whatever your pleasure is on the majority of the council, we can adapt anything to say what you need to say.
Okay.
But as far as what you're comfortable with, that has to come from you guys.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Shall be payable to according to municipal officials notwithstanding absence at a particular meeting if such absence is excused for good and sufficient reason. It's not really specific. It's just so good and sufficient reason as this is written is up to us. So if we will amend it, we want to add illness, prior work commitments. What else?
I don't know, it gets,
Conferences, I mean, if you're, of course.
well, the thing is that it can get real dicey
policy, because, and I'm just gonna say, you know, if you're, I'll use Parton, because if you have a great grandchild, and you say something, you know, or illness, like Curtis says, you get somebody in here, and they're like, well, that's not your immediate family. So you kind of, my personal opinion, as somebody that's sitting in HR, is leave it up to you guys. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have issues, but I know people, and I'm 47, and you know how people are. They're gonna pick and choose, and then you're gonna have a either bigger issue if somebody picks or chooses, and you have to have 3 people that say, listen, I know Tyler had to be here for this, but we don't like Tyler, so no, we're not gonna pay him. But then their friend says, I'm hired, I'm not coming to the meeting tonight, and then they pass that. So you get, because technically you are an employee.
Can I make a suggestion here, and I use this terminology all the time, a lot of times we don't have all the answers. We do have, the whole system's been working pretty good for as I'm concerned. I have no problems. I mean, nobody put a stop sign out here, so it's been working pretty good. So how about, let's look at it and see what some of the other municipalities are doing from their legal standpoint of view.
And I did that. Most of them don't pay.
They don't pay.
Correct. Do not show, you do not get paid.
With no exception?
That's correct. When I was on council, that's how it was too. You do not show, you do not get paid.
So basically what you're doing by doing this is you're putting, okay.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying that's what the majority of the.
We will create a situation just like they have in other municipalities. And we know this right here in Lee County for a fact. They can't get people to run. And I would much rather have Tyler and Sherry sitting on my side because of the quality of work that they do than somebody here that can't spell their name.
To get paid.
Just to get the check. So, and I'm just using that because I understand that there are personal problems that come into play. Tyler just mentioned one. He knows that he's got something coming up, and it's for the betterment of Bronson, what he is actually going to be doing.
Yeah, but not no 7 times.
Because that's just the way I feel about it. Yeah. And frankly, for God's sakes, I mean, you know, we can't, I sure can't point a finger at him and say that because of his medical issues.
Let me clear
like I
that
say,
up.
things been going pretty good for him.
Let me clear that up with what you just said. You are the one, because I asked you about that issue, and you told me you went to the superintendent's office about that issue. And I didn't believe it. So I decided that I was going to go there too, but you have a meeting, I think. So that's why I went over to the super. Did you forget that? You did?
I don't remember that.
Okay.
That's even worse. Like,
like I say, I have no problem where we're at, what we're doing. Scott, you want to amend this thing to accommodate absences?
Well,
I mean, it does already.
it does, but I'm saying, should we just make some sort of a vote or something at, you know, the beginning of the meeting, if we know someone's absent, to say, we're gonna allow them to be paid?
I think maybe, okay, so when we're on at roll call, do you give the reason then? Did you tell them, like when he called my name, does everybody know why I wasn't here, or they just know I wasn't here? Like, is that more the issue, not knowing?
No, I don't think that's the issue at all. But Sue does, because Sue knows, there's been times when you haven't been here and Sue has said, is Sherry coming? And me and Virginia have spoke to you and said, no, she has a game tonight, or she had something else going on. But, I mean, there's not a reason that you can't put it in the meeting.
Maybe that would be sufficient? You just say.
That it needs, I mean, they just said it needs to be part of the record, that would be the only thing.
I think this is crazy. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I think it's crazy. It's because there's nobody that voted for Sherry that does not know what she does for a living. There's nobody.
I mean, and I don't disagree with you, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm probably gonna stir the pot even more. It's no different if you have a council member, and I'll use Franklin, for example, and I have no issue with Franklin. But if you know you have medical issues, what's to say that, what gives you that right to then run, knowing you're gonna miss 90% of your meetings because of your medical issues? It's the same thing. Like, if you know you have prior issues that you probably are not gonna be able to come to a meeting, then the same can be said, why would you run? I'm not saying I agree with that, but that's the other side of that.
But the voters still have the option of voting for that person or not.
And they still
And
want
just
it, I'm just using Franklin because he's in.
But his situation is different because I'm quite sure that every time he went to the doctor, he's probably thought, okay, this is gonna be one of my last time going.
Exactly.
And
No, and I'm not saying, please don't think that, I'm not saying that.
No, I'm saying
Yeah.
we have hopes of getting better and, going on a need to go basis versus, having all this stuff done. But with Sherry, which I'm assuming that this is more so about Sherry, but nobody voted for Sherry, and I voted for Sherry. Nobody voted for Sherry and did not know what she did.
Right.
Well, let me just say that, because you got two issues, right? You got the Zoom issue, right? And now you got the total nobody's here issue. So if you draft something that covers it, then it take opinion out of it until the next council decide to change it. I mean, because it clearly states that if somebody's got, she got something with her, it's like, for example, that she could be in school, could be locked down. You got a meeting, she can't leave the school.
No. And I
So, I
actually.
mean,
That's a real.
I mean, that's
a real excuse.
Well,
you know.
didn't we put it, I'm trying to remember, we said during the whole, can you vote during a Zoom meeting? That you guys were gonna take an individual vote on that, right? Prior to allowing somebody to do that. So that's sort of what I'm saying here, like take the individual vote to just say, today we know that Councilor Schuler is out due to a medical issue, is it still okay to pay him for this meeting? Yes or no?
Yes.
There you go, there's on the record.
But if we don't mess with this, then we don't have to do that.
And I think what Curtis is saying here, and I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, for us to vote on that on an individual basis is going to cause a conflict.
It's going to be personable.
And that way you need to take that out of this. This needs to be a speed limit rule, whatever you want to call it. Is 65 the speed limit? Yes. And I think that's what they're trying to say here. And I personally don't want to have that authority on whether I make the decision on whether somebody, that should be his conviction or her conviction, whichever way it is.
Okay.
You just had the law brought up. What you gonna do about it? Right?
Well, she's covered under Section 3. It says it right there.
Oh, yeah, that's
So I guess the question-
How is she not covered?
So I guess the question is, who's making that determination? If such absence is excused and good for sufficient reason, I'm making that decision, Wendy's making that decision, who's making that decision? That's what I'm asking. I mean.
I don't have an answer for that question for you.
Don't care.
Council makes it, y'all make it, attorney makes it.
Again,
This is where you get into situations where you start making laws or rules or whatever that, for what reason whatsoever, it's really, people just circumnavigated or whatever. That's basically what we did that day.
And I think I value the people that's up there more than that.
Well, Miss Virginia, I campaigned for her.
I'm
I
glad.
went around for her.
I'm glad.
Because I know she's smart. She can go out stuff. But what I'm saying, I used to be a supervisor for like 23 years. You just don't have people not there 75% of the time.
That is so not true, Mr. Elijah. In a whole year, I probably have missed maybe 3 meetings.
Yeah,
and
you haven't missed that.
so you make it seem like I'm not here all the time. I didn't coach volleyball,
Well, let's forget about not here. What about tardiness?
Oh, she has not been tardy here lately.
Okay.
And wait a minute, Mr. Elijah, what time you got to the ceremony on Saturday night? What time you got to the ceremony on Saturday?
What time did I get?
Yeah,
Can't remember. but
you just came whenever you wanted to then.
No, I usually go every year when they have it. Franklin started me to doing that, and Melton. And he hadn't had a chance to do
Okay,
it.
y'all, we gotta move on here to
Yeah,
something
let's
else.
leave this
We're getting
alone.
in this.
So I'm guessing from the council, you just want to leave it the way it is,
No,
and we'll
I'm
just,
fine, leave it.
we'll,
Like-
Wendy and I will make that determination apparently.
We got a lot more important, we got a lot more important to see.
Okay.
Well, I feel like as long as you're notified and you're aware of it, maybe it needs to be right on the record as to, hey, Councilman Schuler is unable to attend because blank. And then it's on the record and it's there. And then if the people want to make that decision when I have to run again or when such and such have to run again, and hey, she missed these 3 meetings because she had a game or she couldn't leave that child at the school by themselves and so she was late. If they make that decision, then let them make that decision.
You do not pay me for my meetings, I don't care.
Listen, I just wanted to bring it up, I'm not, this is not my decision, I just, let you guys know what's out there, that's all.
All right, moving right on along.
Okay, so next up is the interlocal municipal election agreement. I just want to make sure that everybody knows what we're doing with Tammy. We do this every year, every 2 years, but again, the election will be held on Tuesday, April 1st. It will now have the referendum about the charter. We have in the budget to pay this $950 to the supervisor elections. It's in the budget. So what Tammy basically does for us is she prints the ballots, she prepares the polling lists, she provides the equipment and the supplies, she schedules all the testing, she gives us the signatures for the voters that are going to vote by mail, provides a list of poll workers who worked in county elections, provides the training for the poll workers, provides the staff to assist the poll workers, the canvassing board on election day, and then collects the precinct registers for the poll books from the staff to update the voting history. So we get a lot for the $950. The only thing that's separate, of course, is we pay the poll workers out of a separate line item. That's additional money. But for $950, that's basically what Tammy does for the town of Bronson. So the interlocal agreement is before you for a vote.
All right, again, pleasure of the council.
Make a motion to accept the interlocal municipal agreement.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same motion carried.
Okay, the next thing that's on the agenda, I did this just because, and there's nobody here from Bronson Youth Sports, but there is a lot of misinformation going around the community about the town of Bronson that I'm not very happy about, saying that we haven't been helping them and this and that and the other thing. So I wanted to give you guys some facts. So as you'll recall, we signed this agreement with Bronson Youth Sports in February of 2020. And I was told from Ms. B when I started that I'm going to say agreement, but it really was more probably of a handshake because it wasn't actually in our written agreement with them, was that we were going to provide them with a sliding scale, $10,000 on the first year, then $8,000, $6,000, $4,000. This year would be $2,000, and by next year they would be on their own, they would have no funds. So that is $30,000 over this 5-year period. The sheet that you have in front of you has it broken down, Wendy broke it down in 5 categories. Act 4, which is the league fees, which we gave them a total of we paid a total of $8,325 in league fees for Act 4. Insurance to K&K, which totaled $13,567. Various equipment, which totaled $5,313. Rental fees, which totaled $545, and the World Series, which was league fees and uniforms for $2,860. So that alone was $30,611. So we fulfilled our obligation. Now, in addition to that, you have to remember that, we repair stuff at the park, we mow the grass, we pay all the electric, we pay all the water. I mean, that's obviously not figured into Bronson Youth Sports. We would do that regardless of who the league is, but when people are out there saying that we don't give the money and we haven't done what we were supposed to, we fulfilled our obligation to Bronson Youth Sports. We have done exactly what we were told to do. We paid everything they asked us to pay, and it totaled the $30,000. So I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah,
But you know where it's coming from. This is right from QuickBooks. Wendy took all of this directly from our accountant.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Questions?
No. we had to beg them to do something,
Well, yeah, for like the equipment, we had to beg them to do that, yes. And you notice
so,
that,
not even just for ours, for the money.
and for the county.
John had to beg them to go do
You
it.
see, there's 2 years in there, they didn't even ask for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, so they could have potentially gotten more, but they didn't even ask for anything. So I want it out there for the record that we gave them the 30,000 that we promised to them. So, regardless of what's being said out there. Okay, so next up is there's a one pager on here that Nick wrote up, and then I also gave you guys a little schematic. We're at the point now that CFEC is ready to install, I don't want to say fiber because it's actually going to be Wi-Fi is what it's really going to be. But there's been some hiccups with them. They came into my office about a week and a half ago asking me to sign an easement agreement because they changed the way they were going to go into the park. They originally thought they were going to come down Picnic Street, but that's all Duke. And that, because we're not at the point of doing Duke Circle, we're still on CFPC Circle. So then they decided they would come off of Family Circle Drive, which is back here, and come up through the park over here. And he basically said, are there any utilities that would be affected? And the person I talked, and there's a water line back there we have to be careful for. But anyway, so I was happy to sign the easement. Attorney Moore signed off on it and said it was good. And then Nick said, well, hold on. I need some questions answered about what it is we're trying to do at the park. So he's got 9 questions on here that I just kind of need some basic information on, so I can bring it back to him. These aren't only guess questions. So I'm going to read them, and I just need some kind of throw your ideas out. What are the primary purposes of the security camera system at the park?
Security.
Give me something more security than
For
vandalism.
vandalism.
For vandalism, okay. Anything else?
Well, it also gives us, it's on camera, we're liable for certain things, liability issues.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
If you're out there swimming in the swamp, we're not responsible if you get bit.
If a reporter gets mugged, we need to see it on film.
And shove it under the fence.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
True story.
We'll call that crime.
Yeah, we'll call that crime.
How's
Yeah.
that, crime? Okay. Are there any specific areas of concern that need to be monitored closely?
The bathrooms.
Facility,
The open bathroom.
Open building.
I talk about the entirety of them.
Bathrooms are your biggest
Open.
concern?
Open buildings.
So buildings,
Yeah.
okay?
Banking.
Concession stands, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Should the system have audio recording capability? Do you hear by hearing anything?
Probably.
So we know which park they're going to next.
Okay?
Well,
Just keep in mind that costs more money when
If
you're
you say,
saying that.
everything that you're saying here is gonna cost
It's money.
more, and
That's correct.
Our ones at the school don't have audio.
They do not?
Get a practical both.
it is not required by law.
Okay. What is the retention period of recorded footage? Like, do you want to keep it for 30 days, 60 days, a year, 5 years, 10 years?
How long would we legally have to keep it?
Legally, have to keep it. We're just doing this. I mean, this is our,
There's no like requirements if it's public
Not
property
that I
or
know
This
of.
not.
probably should rotate every 30 days.
That's at least 30 days. Yeah.
okay, so this is, I think that's the point of this, is it's
Yeah.
something that could be recorded over. You're not looking to keep it for
Yeah.
infinite,
No.
right? Okay. So I think-
30 days max.
Okay,
If we don't realize something's happening in 30 days, then it ain't that big of a deal.
okay. Are we anticipating a need for 24/7 reporting?
Yeah.
As opposed to somebody comes in to
Or
the park
motion
and you're,
detected
right,
cameras.
right. You're actually wanting the blank space where there's nobody there from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m.
I think motion would be, like, because again, motion cameras are gonna pick up somebody walking in the car.
Gotta be some paranoia out there.
I think motion detector would probably be fine.
So the motion is okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is public Wi-Fi to be contemplated to be provided?
No.
So
No.
you don't care about anybody?
No.
That's gonna create more problems.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
no.
I don't care about that. That's good. Does the system need to function in the absence of AC utility power?
The battery backup?
Right.
It's usually when all the riprap's
direct access to the system. So are you okay with just, Nick and Curtis, or Nick, Curtis, and me, and we're not looking for like everybody to have access to it, right? So like
You
just,
and Curtis, we don't.
okay. And should the system be scalable to other town locations? Meaning, could you potentially see the need at the Public Works Department, or the need at the Fire Department, or the need at the library? Or is this just something we're looking to do at the park?
Don't we already have cameras up here?
I feel like
Really?
Yeah.
if we're gonna have,
So
if
wait,
you're gonna do that, you're gonna have a separate system in each place.
the cameras at
I'd be interested to see what this is going on.
Well, we just, by question number 2, I can tell you, we're not gonna ever get that with all the new requirements that are out there. I've covered
Okay,
it.
well, it's a wish list, I mean, again, this is a wish list, okay, that at least gives me an idea as to what you're looking for. Okay, that's all good. Easy breezy. We have some answers.
I don't think he's ever happy.
All right, I'm good with that. I'm gonna move on from that.
Yeah, like that?
Yeah, I'm just gonna move on. All right, last thing I have is, I wanted you guys to know that the town was just awarded a $1,124,900 grant to pave Gilbert Lake and Oak Streets. So it's a SCOP grant, just like the SCOP grant that we got to pave Wilson Avenue. So we submitted 2 SCOP grants. One was this one, and one was to pave Pine Drive, Pine Lane, and Pine Terrace. We did not get that one, so we're resubmitting that one. I think it just came open today or tomorrow, so we'll resubmit that one. But we did at least get this one, so that means that basically, both of these roads on the side of the library and town hall are going to be redone, which is very exciting news.
Yeah.
Because hopefully we can deal with this little swimming pool outside.
Did we, get another quote for the driveway?
I think we need to, this is just my personal, I think we need to let this happen first
Probably.
before we even attempt to do that. And the reason why, if you go ahead and do this, they may come in here and rip up some of the stuff that we had to spend money on, you know what I'm saying? So we need to do we may be able to do it too, but I mean, that's strictly up to y'all. I mean, when is this projected to be taking place?
I mean, it hasn't even been officially announced yet by FDOT, so I mean, we just found out about it literally last Monday, so it's still very new. But
Okay.
I'm very excited about it because we've been talking about paving this area for a really long time, so it is exciting.
Well, if we go ahead and move forward with the parking lot here, it'll be their job to adapt to ours.
What part are we talking about? Are we talking about the part that's unpaved right now? Is that what you're talking about?
Curtis is talking about putting the driveway
From
all
Oak
the
to
way
Gilbert.
across from behind the city hall.
I would wait, because you don't know how they're gonna do that road with the leveling, and if they make it
That's
higher or
gonna
lower.
be the question mark right there.
Yeah.
They have got to raise that over here somehow or other, that curve. It's got to be done.
I was just asking, did we get another quote, because we only had one.
Oh, yeah, we'd already,
Yeah, you already said the one that we had last week.
we sent for a request.
Yeah.
I think Mickey was working on that, I think.
I'd probably recommend holding off though, because you don't know what this is gonna
You
do.
Well, that's good.
you don't know what drainage they're gonna entail, and then where they're gonna decide to start digging retention ponds at to solve this water
Unless
problem.
they hit a water line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's probably gonna happen too.
I hope.
Don't say it out loud, don't put it out.
Okay,
That's all I got.
all right.
That is exciting.
It's very exciting.
All right.
It's the world.
Curtis?
2 things right quick. The quote is for the inmate working truck. He was, from that he was going through the drive-through. If you see, it's the passenger side in front of the rear tire. If you look at some of the pictures, it kind of looks like the whole side is being bit. This is now on the front right passenger tire. And $3,205 to have that repaired. Personally,
It ain't that big of a deal. It's not rubbing up against the tire or nothing.
no, he's driving. We've been having, I don't know, sometimes it's the depth perception.
Oh, they need to work out the drive through in the
Did
future.
it have a trailer on it?
No.
There was no trailer on it?
No, there's no drive.
I don't know, $3,000 is a lot of
Not
money for
much
that
for
little
that,
thing.
I mean,
Grandma said get the plunger and see, can you get it out of
I was concerned about, I was just said to get an estimate because I was concerned about the frame underneath, but it's
Okay.
But you need
Just
to,
cosmetic.
you need to drive the golf cart?
I don't know. This year.
I wrecked mine twice last week, so
Your truck? How?
back in the power pole and then hit a fence post pole in my yard. But 42 years next time.
Fence post moving?
Yeah, it's been there for as long as I've been alive.
So if the council's good, I'm good with leaving the letting it stay in.
Yeah. We're gonna hold off on the $3,000.
That's some grounder pump right
Right?
The next discussion.
You might not believe this, but Mr. Warren, for example, my car was over there, and he just scratched about like that. And it was just about $3,000. Body would cost a lot.
Body work's expensive.
Good thing.
I deal with them every day.
Yeah.
The next thing to discuss is grinder pump replacement. Basically, the fire, like, for example, the fire department has a particular type of grinder pump. Stony has a particular grinder pump. And then all the utilities that's on 27 have a different type of grinder pump. And it's coming up where that we are replacing, because at the end of the cycle, we're replacing the grinder pump. And I have ordered 15, down to maybe 9. So the life expectancy of the ones that's in the ground has bypassed. So in the future, I had talked to Sue about it, that problem with dealing with businesses or anyone that gives a grinder pump should make them be responsible for the repair, upkeep, because it's on private property. That's one thing. Probably won't do anything about the ones that's already there, which we have 16 grinder pump stations. That's 32 pumps. So that's why I had ordered 15. So we need to try to remedy it to where, even if we, like with Stony, that particular pump is like $2,700. And then when you, our time, having an electrician come.
They're always flushing little alcohol bottles and messing it up.
And we have a big issue with the debris that they're flushing. Normally, it's kind of hard to clog up a grinder pump. The plastic, what they doing, they with plastic with the bottles and stuff. They go in the bathroom, drinking, flush it down the toilet, and it's ended up in the ground. When we get so many that, you know, when you get a stack like that at the bottom, setting up into the pump and locking up the propellers.
So, okay, so question. If this was like a homeowner's yard and I was messing with my water thing and you was consistently having to come out and fix it or repair it, I, as a homeowner, would be charged for that, right?
Well, typically, you know, that's the thing with what we have with the grinder pump station, because the areas that, so like some of the citizens that own sewer, the average ones in there, they didn't want sewer. And so when they have a ladder problem or whatever, we only responsible from the road.
Right.
To the, you know, to clean out inside the road to the manhole. They're responsible for it from the house to the cleanup.
Right.
So they got something that they didn't want, but now they have to maintain it. I.e. the lateral. So when you're looking at the grinder pump stations, the businesses, some, we had some issues. They didn't want it, but they got it. Of course, they got the septic tank in, put the grinder pump station in, and now we are responsible for the grinder on private property.
But with the new business, like, can you make it be, I mean, if it's already there, yes, but I mean, in the future.
Well, that's the question. So we've been
Yes.
talking to Mike about this, because number one, Stoney's been an issue. He's now on his third grinder pump in 3 years, at $2,700 a piece. We're keeping that money. And now we've got an issue down by the Mexican restaurant.
With our lift stations, what's happening with our lift stations, now that corridor, there's someone in all those restaurants. Grease, it's getting bad.
They don't have a,
Well, they have grease traps, but some enforcing it,
oh, okay.
they should do it quarterly. They should sign off.
They don't have somebody to come get the grease.
A lot of the grease is ending up from this lift station to the sewer plant. And it's not good. It's not good because, I don't want to straight, but you're talking 5 or 6 inches thick that ends up on the wall of the lift station. And then once it falls out, it goes through the line. So from here all the way to Stephen Street, that grease is traveling down the sewer laterals. And it's going to become an issue.
So Curtis and I have been talking to Mike. Mike actually went down to the Mexican restaurant last Wednesday to talk to them about the grease situation. But we keep saying, is it okay if we, charge them for a replacement grinder pump? Or, it's always a question, $2,700 is a lot of money.
And I thought we signed an ordinance for that, for Stony.
We're doing that?
I don't think it's anything.
No.
What's going on, because in the preliminary stage when it was being developed, there was nothing in place. Because basically it was, once they paid for the initial installation of the grinder pump station, then the town would become responsible for it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be one situation.
So,
Because of the fact that they put in a different type than we use.
Okay, that's not a problem.
Wait, so they put in the type that we were gonna be responsible for paying for? I mean, for upkeep?
It's just different.
When they started building the unit down there, we told them what type that we used. Curtis did that, I know for a fact.
same thing with the fire department.
Their engineers built in a different type of grinder pump than we had.
Yeah.
And that's what they put in. And so we can't just use one of ours if we have on site. We gotta go get the one that they
We have
got.
to have 3 different types of stock.
So that's another one that you have to keep in reserve.
And eventually we're gonna have to do something different at the lift station, at our national lift station too, because with the grease coming from there, getting into the wet well at the lift station, it's causing problems for us, trying to keep the right balance because of the grease. And that's why sometimes you may get a smell, it's because the amount of grease, and the grease is killing the good bugs. But it's something to think of in the future, like in all those states, when, we add more people onto sewer, we need to have some way to protect myself from inheriting all the problems.
Right.
I know Chief charges people if they have to go back commercial businesses, don't they? I'm pretty sure.
For what?
Like if
They
they have-
replace a
Yeah,
grinder
for
pump
neg- yeah,
for commercial business?
For commercial, like for stuff like that getting flushed and.
Well, you gotta show us. You either charge them for the pump, or you charge them a higher rate.
So that, I think the part of what was done, what was the language initially.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Pretty much everybody was taking
You
off.
can't, you
Off,
can't go down there and charge Stony for a pump and then the person right across the street not get charged for it. That won't work. So, and I mean, you can't just stop the system here today and say, okay, everybody in the future is going to have to pay for their pumps. That's where you run into a problem. You got to set, you got to set a law and say, go by it. Either that, everybody does the same thing, or we got to raise the rates accordingly to accommodate the uses. So when that happens, then you've got somebody down here that doesn't create a problem, they're helping to pay for their stuff. So it's a damn if you do and damn if you don't. So,
especially with the story. It's good, but until you get enough people on it.
that's what.
Well, in the instance that we on our third one and they're supposed to last longer than that, how do we make, I mean, what kind of rate, do they pay for the whole thing? Do they have to split the cost? Like, how would we do that? That was the question.
Right. It is.
I think they have to pay for the pump, the time.
Right. If they pay for the pump, that would be a great deal, because we have to have electrician come, because we don't want to defeat the purpose to try to wire it and it doesn't happen.
Right.
So you encourage with electricity, right?
Well, and that makes them be more, I mean, the way it is now, there is no incentive for them to stop
People from doing what
stop
they're
doing it. So if they should have to pay for the pump, at least, I would say. If that would be easy.
Yeah, for any commercial business.
Yes,
Not just Stony, not just the next restaurant, any, all of it.
yeah.
If it was a Mexican restaurant, it's more of this, if you want directly to the lift station, they don't have a grinder pump. It just goes back to the.
So you're talking about the initial grinder pump and any replacement? Is that what you're saying?
If we have to do any, due to negligence, I mean, if it just quits working, I mean, but if you open it up and there's a stack of little liquor bottles in there, and that's what causes the break, you gotta pay for it.
Okay.
If it's a
If
7
it's negligence,
if
like.
it's a
well, that's
7-year-old grinder pump and it just quit working,
Yeah, we're not talking about 7 years.
That's
We're
what I'm
talking
saying.
about ones that were
I
replaced.
know, that's what I'm saying, if it's due to negligence like that, then it should be their responsibility.
Okay.
We shouldn't have to put.
Can you,
We could try.
get, Ms. Warren to, so y'all can draft something that goes to each business so everybody is aware, so it isn't like, well, oh, I didn't know we was gonna have to pay for that.
Especially
How
the
many
commercial
people,
businesses
how many
that
people
have,
do we have that actually has their own grinder pumps? besides-
there's no residential installed business.
No, I know that,
No.
I know that, I'm talking about Stony has one, does anybody
We have
else have one?
16 lift stations, starting lift stations, starting at Napa,
I mean, on an individual basis. Them Stony's got his on.
Stoney, Napa, Post Office, Save-A-Lot, everybody on this side of this corridor, on 27, pretty much on ground station. All the businesses,
Yeah.
or even,
Health department, probably,
Health Department, they go right to the lift station. But Cameron Business Insurance Company, we end up putting.
yeah,
end up putting
when that
pump
pipe
in
is,
there. Then you got security tile, say, Kangaroo, and then all the other businesses that's on the right hand side, then we have Ace Hardware, all the way to.
I think you tell them, we tell them all. So that they're aware that that's gonna be their responsibility, if it's due to negligence or that kind of thing.
You're gonna get a pushback because most of them, they grind their septic tank was fine until the town put them on something.
I don't wanna pay for car insurance, but the state said I have to, so. I mean, and that's the other thing, is like, they're saying that, but in order to grow and have more businesses, one of our hiccups is sewer. So, I mean, in a point, if they're anywhere else, it's a necessity, so we really kind of act, it is what it is at this point.
Here I go again, I don't sound like a broken record, but what's some of the rest of the community?
I know Chiefland makes people pay.
They pay for everything.
Chiefland makes you pay for anything. It don't matter.
Anything
Went out.
concerning the utilities, if you do a service call.
Yeah. If you think something's messed up and you call them and have somebody come out, they charge you like $100 just for having sent somebody out. Whether they're there for 30 seconds for 3 hours.
And when you get pushback, that's what you tell them. Right, there's nothing that we can do about it. We can't afford to, especially when you've gotten 3, getting ready to go on another one. If it happens, we can't afford to keep doing that. Because we only got so much money.
Well, that's $7,500 in a year worth of grinder pumps for.
That's crazy.
And,
That's just the price of the
I
pumps.
think when they put in these grant stations, nobody was watching, and probably 3 years from now. So this was all the bolts, everything, the brackets, rusting.
Oh, really?
And, it was, they knew, basically nobody was watching, this was before my time, but they knew nobody was there,
They
once.
threw it together and went on to the next one.
So with the gas.
So with the newer stuff, is it like galvanized or?
It's galvanizing, it's, it's rusting. Even the check valves, that's what we have a lot of problems with. Even the check valves, the pipes are rusted and just falling off. And then the pumps. And it can create a real issue a lot of times if when the check valve fall off or fall down into the well, the pump dry, they keep adding water and it starts to boil. And grace of God, didn't open it all the way, but it was scalding our water.
Oh my goodness.
So is there a better, okay, so as we replace and we go through, is there a better version that we should be switching to?
Look, the ones that I ordered are the
better?
ones out there, the higher
Okay,
ones.
so slowly, as they tear up,
We
will-
replaced
okay.
them with something better.
Okay. Well,
I say
that's
draft something up with Attorney Warren
Okay.
and send something out and whatever, and I'll just have a resolution or whatever's got to get passed for them, send out a info flyer.
I mean, there's only 16 businesses, that's not a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we need to do.
How much is it, for a business to, yeah,
It's by the usage, right?
is there a
Well,
different
it goes
amount
off
for
your
a
water
deposit?
usage, but does it also go by the size of the line?
It's basically, what the water rate is for its commercial use.
So it's just based on
residential.
water?
Yes.
So really, they're not, I mean, yes, they're paying more for water because they're using more
I
water.
mean,
right?
it's a bigger deposit though. No.
We can put something together. That at least gives them, that's what we kept coming back to, is Mike kept saying, well, the council needs to make that decision.
That's what,
The person are
there's
like,
no reason for us to keep eating
that's what we're doing right now, we're just eating it.
$20,000-$30,000 a year in grinder pumps and y'all's time, and because somebody wants to push some liquor bottles down the toilet.
Well, to me, it makes the business more accountable for it, and they, in the end, it's their system, so they should be accountable for that.
Yeah. First off, still working on the generator stuff.
They're a little pricey.
Yeah, they are not cheap. The all quoted is a little bit different generator. I had got information from CFEC on what our peak loads were, and they kind of went off some of that. The one thing that wasn't included in CFC, information from the power company was we've got the ventilation system for the truck bays that still has to be installed. So it's gone up a little bit. They're all over what we can normally get money-wise as far as bidding it out without going sealed bids, right? So really.
Well, unless Luke does it,
Yeah.
right? Because Luke's already the contractor on
You
it.
don't have to do a bid at all, we can take it.
Right, so, the quote from LMC for 76,800, we can
have now, because we don't have to rebid that because he's already a contractor on the station for it.
That one's for just the station, right?
Right, this is just for the station, because if we want to do the, well, also, it's going
It was over what
up
was left of the
to
grant.
$165,875.
And I wanna look at, I wanna talk to someone, cause I was thinking about it the other day. They said it had to be what, 44 kW to run the well or something?
Yeah, it's a 60 horsepower electric motor.
Yeah,
Pump down there.
that's what we had. We had a power line go down on the farm running them irrigation things. So instead of paying to run a half mile worth of 3-phase power line, he just went and bought a pull behind generator from like United Rentals auction after they got done using it. And we ran a 14-inch well. I want to get the specs on what we ran. We ran it on like a 20 kW generator that he bought for like 15 grand, a full type one. So I feel like they're overshooting how many kWs that pump actually needs.
Yeah.
I mean, we ran that and it ran a pivot at the same time, so it was pulling from the well and a pivot head.
Yeah, the thing that kicks that one a lot is it's the 480 volts.
Yeah. That's what these were. I'm gonna talk to the guy at the irrigation company, because he set ours up and we only had like a 20 kW thing, and we went to the United Rentals auction and got one of their old ones that came off the rental fleet for like 15 grand. And then you can pull it up when you need to have a pigtail pulled out ready to go.
Yeah. It's just, nothing seems to be cheap. And I did go on and just kind of looked at generators online, and it comes down to differences between whether it's propane or diesel. Most the diesel ones have got like a 200-gallon tank on them, so it runs for about 3 days, I think. The other ones, for the size we're looking for, is going to be, he said 1,000-gallon tanks or 2 500-gallon tanks. And the problem with that is that they have to be a certain distance from the station. And with the pavement around 3 sides of it, we don't have any room to pour that over there unless we put a buried tank in the ground. So, I mean, propane is going to be an additional expense on the generator.
Right.
Because we'll have to have that set up and plumbed and then pay for the propane. So, there's different ways we can go. We've been talking to Solar Tech about maybe putting solar panels on the roof and running power that way in addition to the generators. So we've been trying to look at all the options we can, and we're still in the mix of trying to figure it out, I guess. Unless y'all have any other suggestions on what we need to do with it.
No, I think the solar is a good idea. I mean, there's different ways to be able to use the panels and then take that energy and use it. I mean,
right. One thing is that when it wasn't being used for, power nap, anything extra will go into the system and hopefully reduce our power bills.
All right.
So I know with all the water getting pumped out of the well, it's adding up that one a little bit, but
I like that idea.
so we're waiting on a quote back from them. And he's also given us a quote for a diesel generator in addition, so we can kind of see it. But so far, we've all been over what we can just go out and bid on without going through Luke with the contract.
Okay.
So you're opposed to doing Luke's? You're opposed to doing Luke's?
No, I'm not opposed to doing it.
Well, I'm gonna be Wendy and play devil's advocate, which I don't want to do, but the next thing on your agenda is the agreement for Rescue 9 to leave the station, and it specifically says in there that they have to have generators. And Luke's quote says that it's 12 to 14 weeks out.
Right.
To do this, so we're talking 3 to 4 months. So if Rescue 9 is going in sometime in January, February 1st, we're still without a generator. So do we really want to delay this longer, knowing that it's going to take 3 to 4 months?
We can do loops for the station, that's fine with me, but for the, I think we can, I think it's
We're
fine.
more concerned about the station than the well pump. I mean, the well pump is.
That's what I'm saying, I think we can come up with something better. I think we can get a pull behind thing to run that well pump just fine for less than 20 grand.
Right. Yeah, our concern is obviously with Rescue 9 needing a building, we need a generator for the building. That's the bigger
Yeah, 'cause
concern first.
their ambulance has got to stay plugged up at all times.
Right.
I mean, even a regular generator that would run the well is 27,579.
Okay.
And then it has to be installed, so it's about the same price, it seems like. So the problem is the generators take a while to get, so
Yeah.
that's the biggest problem so far. You know, I can look at, you know, maybe Weeks Auction or something, see if they have something. They've always got surplus stuff from people, but, you know, we're running short on time at this point.
Right. I mean, Vintage Electric was obviously out because it's, you know, 100 grand. And Sprague, I would say, is out because they didn't want to do the concrete pad mounting.
But there was other things they left out of there.
Right. Luke's kind of in the middle, you don't have to bid it, he is the contractor.
As long as they don't screw this up too, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think of generators, it's hard to screw this up.
You wouldn't pay your doors are either.
Well, I don't know, but
Yeah.
he didn't.
We won't even get into that subject right now.
I'm just playing devil's advocate because I know we're trying to get Station Rescue 9 in there and I don't want to be without.
I'm fine with that. I mean, that's, for having one for the station, yeah, I mean, that's where people stay at.
So they got a generator where they at now?
No, they got portables that pull up. The county, the emergency management is designated for their stations.
Sheriff's Department.
That little trailer right there.
Yeah.
Emergency management has ones they take over there that they're designated.
Oh, so it don't belong, well, yeah.
Belongs to the county.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, why they done got like a pull?
It's on a trailer, right?
They got the same style ones I'm talking about for getting for the, they got ones you pull up there, it's got a 50-gallon diesel tank on it, and
Okay.
they just crank it up with it right. But most of the time during hurricanes, they get moved to our station anyway, so they're not there.
That's true. Yeah, 'cause they've got to have power for the refrigeration units, for the drugs and things like that too. So in addition to just having radios and station functions, so.
Okay.
It's however you want us to proceed from this point, but it's,
So would y'all rather have propane or diesel or, because, I mean, one of them burns better than the other.
one of them's quieter and the other's really not the only thing. The diesel's a little louder, but
Where the thing was sticking on the backside of their thing by the retention pond or right by the
it needs to be up there, otherwise we're gonna have to somehow run that,
borderline underneath it
cable.
on the left side?
I guess most of them want it as close as they can to the main access panel of the building, which is that grass area behind the flagpole. I mean, diesel one can be sitting there on the pad.
Yeah.
It's a little more complicated with propane.
Diesel's fine.
They both run about the same amount per gallon.
Yeah, they really don't burn a difference. One just is quieter and
Yeah, I know.
doesn't kill as many sea turtles supposedly. That's about the only difference.
I know when I refilled the generator in my house, it was $4 a gallon for propane, and diesel's running about the same. So, there's not a whole lot of difference in actual operating costs once we have it.
What would you be, what you buy, taxable? Diesel?
No, we could probably get a better price on diesel because we can go through wherever the county's getting through, that's where we're getting our fuel from anyway. Yeah.
How much do we have left in the grant?
$132,054, I believe.
So we have 50 grand left. That's pretty good.
Right. And the lowest bid I've got so far in the air filtration system is about 14 grand and get that, so.
So 30 grand left in both of them.
So then we've got till June to get this done, everything for the station. structure up around the well, over the well, to help shade the electric pumps that we were supposed to do anyway. But have an open center in it where we can pull the pump out if we need to. But it's gonna take a crane to pull that thing out regardless.
That's how we did it with the farm, we had a hole in that center where we
Yeah.
pulled out.
And you can solar panel the whole thing around it, and that would produce enough electricity to run the well anytime we need it.
Okay.
But those specs still aren't, I can't guarantee that one. So, like I said, we've been looking at all the options, and this is the best we've got so far.
John? We'll make a motion to that.
Make a motion, we accept the quote from LMC Steel for the fire station generator.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same, motion carries.
All right. Thank you. Get this moving.
All right.
The lease agreement?
Lease agreement for Rescue 9 moving into the station. It's been reviewed by both county attorney and Mr. Warren. And I believe everything's good that way. Coming down to particulars on what they can use and what they can't use. We kind of piggyback the contract off of what they use down in English. So it's pretty much the same agreement, just more fine-tuned for our station. We kick around where we're gonna put things. I put together the Exhibit A, which is what they can actually use. And I know it's pretty broad, but I don't know how you can really start chopping up the station too much to tell them they can't use something or not use something, because they're still gonna need the kitchen, the dining room, the day room, the bunk room. And, other than really the other things we're probably restricting them from are the two offices where Gail and Bob use and Bobby and I use. Everything else, I don't see why we should restrict them. We can designate what bay they use for the equipment. I'm actually looking at the first bay is right along the living quarters section. That's bay 1 and bay 6.
Recording in progress.
So, because they'll be running a lot more, and it'll be easier for them to get out and get to that. And the bigger trucks, they don't have to worry about going around and things like that. I put an alternate in there. There's a one bunk room 9. Was originally set up to be
Officers' quarters.
an officer's quarters and stuff. There's internet access in there plus power, and that could be the battalion chief's office when he's there. So it's right next to so we were just giving them that whole line of 5 across the back side of the station, keep them all together, and still allow us access in and out when we run, when they don't. So they were concerned they were going to split it, one on each side, but because they wanted to keep us from getting woke up when they got calls, because the centralized paging systems were all going to hear it regardless.
Right.
So just try to keep it as clean as we could. We kind of opted for that. If they have any other suggestions, we're open to it, but y'all are good with everything in there. They will be reimbursing us $16,000 a year for utilities and maintenance supplies. Will be their cost for being in the station. Same thing that they're paying for being in the station in English. So.
Well, we need a motion on this also. That all you got on that, Jeff?
Yeah.
Pleasure of the council?
Is there some language in the lease that you don't like, or do we want to amend?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Motion on that?
I make a motion, we accept the lease agreement for the emergency medical services unit. I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, motion carries.
The next thing,
I said I would take this for you, Jeff. So this is just an FYI for you guys. Answer Advisory is the company that helps us with the fire assessment every year. And they just got bought out by Accenture, which, if anybody knows that company, that actually used to be Anderson Consulting about 23 years ago. So they just keep getting bought up and bought up. But they just wanted to let us know that instead of, Answer, it's not going to be Accenture. So just a little FYI there.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
One other thing I just want to let you know, well, actually two things. Engine 70's in the shop. It's got an electrical ghost in it somewhere. It started by only shutting off when you turned right. Now, now it runs really bad. It's like 3 cylinders. And I had one company come over, on-scene repairs, they hooked a computer to it. And some of the sensors are over voltage, some are under voltage, and they keep switching. So there's got to be an electronic brain in there somewhere.
Might be a regular.
Like a computer or something.
Yeah, so they recommended Premier Truck in Ocala, who deals with Freightliners, international Freightliners. So I had to have it towed from here to there. I haven't full code on what's going to cost for repairs yet, but that's it. Wanted to let you know it was down there. So,
Did it just turn off the whole time?
No. Well, when that thing shuts off, it's hard to steer that big old thing.
No power.
That's how they drive.
They shut off on me at the red light.
Oh.
That's the one, I'm the one who was like, hey.
Yeah, that's right. And all those things back to the station.
Something ain't right.
Yeah. And the other thing I just want to let you know, Brush 70 got a stick poked in the radiator, so I had a radiator replaced.
It's easier.
Yeah, I crawled under it today, right out, so it right there.
Oh my goodness.
So the stick went up underneath and just caught that and broke the coil.
Country living.
Yeah.
So they run over a tree.
It's probably a mop up on the last fire.
Yeah. So the radiator itself was $460, plus we had labor and we put it back together. So,
Y'all tearing up radiators, they running through drive-throughs.
we're going through stuff. However, tomorrow, the county communications folks are going to be coming in. They'll be putting the new paging system in the station. We'll be the first one in the county to get it.
What?
So, because as you know, they shut off everything. And the only thing we have are these. We don't have pagers anymore. We don't have
It sucks.
the old radios or anything. So,
You have to listen to everybody in the county's traffic all night long.
yeah.
Really?
And hope I will.
It's been great. So, and they, first they shut the radios off the night of the hurricane arrival. And then a month or so later, they shut the paging system down. And, you don't find out until you're not getting pages. So, it's been a challenge, but it's about to get better. I think we'll be all right. And hopefully, if everything goes right, our new pickup truck, our quick response truck, should be done this week. Good. And hopefully, the word to me will be able to make arrangements to get picked up. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Ward.
He's not there.
The internet went out. I think he's gone.
Yeah, he's out.
Okay.
I do have a question. And it's just a simple question. But to resolve, because I've seen lately that as state and government moves forward, I see that a lot of people are having the same issues, and people have been appointing, substitutes in their place if they are not there. Is there any kind of way that we could add that to, like, for instance, for the housing, not the housing committee, but the code enforcement board? Like, you have people that stand in.
Alternate.
Yeah, alternates.
Natalie's the alternate on that board.
Right, so is there, because it seems like if we could do that, that would be like a resolution to some of our problems.
You talking about for the council?
I don't think you can
Yes.
do it on the governing board.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those are all
Yeah,
elected.
I don't think you can do it on the governing board. You can do it there because they're appointed.
Maybe we should check and make sure.
We can check and
Because
see,
that would definitely
we can
be a
check and see
problem
when they
solver.
will do it. Not on an elected board.
All right, I don't have anything to go over tonight, other than the fact that we did have a, Wreath Across America was this past weekend. I appreciate everybody coming out and participating in it. It was wonderful. Curtis, anything else that you and I missed? They are working diligently on fixing some of these leaks also, bear with it occasionally. I get phone calls all the time, oh, what's wrong with the water bill? I said, well, did you pay your bill? That's the first thing I ask. And then the next thing is, it's just a momentary thing, we just got it, we're working. Okay, so it's
Yeah, but you know what? Today, I posted it on Facebook, and Kelly sent out a text blast that we were gonna be opening up a fire hydrant, and we only got one call. Normally, we get 100,
Oh, yes.
literally 100.
I get it.
Today, we only got one, so.
Well, that's just
Still, that's a good thing, we can thank Kuzi for that.
all right, Miss Sherry?
Can you have the lady that works with us on grants, see if she can help us find something that we need our own indoor facility, basketball court for our kids. Currently,
A rec center, like we've been talking about doing, like.
whatever it is, whatever we need to find, we need to get back on that and make that on our priority, because this year the kids are having to practice outside because they are basically redoing the whole campus up there, and so they're using that area for storage because that is pretty much the only area that's not, and they don't know how long it's going to be, so they may spend their basketball season practicing outside. When it came to be asked about the school, I am part of the last practice, and we don't get done till 8 o'clock. So there isn't space that we can say, okay, we'll just come to the school and practice, because my coaches are pretty much practicing every day. So we, in order for our programs to grow, our indoor programs, period, not just basketball, or to be able to add stuff for cheer or whatever, we need something indoor. It don't have to be a Taj Mahal. It can be, a metal building, and we put a court in it. It just needs to be something, because right now we don't have any options to grow those programs.
We needed it years ago.
Anything else?
I used to coach Don had down there freezing coaching, playing basketball. I don't know. My fat little self running up and down there, see my breath, I thought I was gonna die.
He was on fire.
Did you get a response on how the event went?
Nope.
No.
I asked.
Well, I saw it. I just wondered if you got a response since I had last look.
Got nothing.
They had something out
The
there
event?
at the
Oh,
park.
I went out there. Oh, yeah.
Do tell.
Oh, yeah.
How many people were there?
2
2 people?
when I was there.
What time did you go? It was like 3 to 7.
Well, I got there. What time did we get to, Jen, over here at Reese?
Probably like 12:30, 12.
1. I think I got one.
What time, Elijah, did we get through the other day?
It was
Back
about
to
1.
7:30?
Yeah.
About 1:30.
I went there right after that.
So you was early. You was
A
early.
little bit early.
They were setting up. but
I was thinking,
I asked them whether they needed anything, and it was cold shoulders. I left.
So was Dave and Angela, those are 2 that wrote? That was it.
Well, the little cheerleaders did a fantastic job at the games, and they enjoyed themselves. They've been there twice now. Other times they're in it, and they do their little dance, and everybody likes it. So even when we were playing Ruth Raines the other day, they got 69 little cheerleaders of their own, middle school cheerleaders. So you had their cheerleaders, and then you had little cheerleaders cheering, and so their kids were cheering on our kids. So it was really cute. I should have took some pictures, but they come back again, I'll take pictures. That's it.
That it?
Mm-hmm.
Tyler?
No.
Miss Sherry, Miss Virginia.
I don't have anything other than a thank you. Thank you to everybody who is working together, no matter what parameters are there or not there.
All right. And Franklin, y'all continue to keep him in your prayers, and I'm going to do something in this
And Mr.
morning.
Mickey too.
And Mickey too. Mickey is in the hospital. I talked to him today. He was in no pain, but he said they were doing a lot of tests on him and everything. I'm fixing to do something that is probably not politically correct, but that's all right. I'm gonna do it anyhow. Merry Christmas to everyone. And I appreciate each and every one of you, what you do, and y'all all have a safe Christmas and with your family and everything, and
Mayor,
yes, ma'am.
I'd like to give you all a praise on the paper, the little paper you sent out.
Yes.
Oh, the
That's
newsletter.
really nice.
Yes, it is, yes, it is. Do we have anybody else that needed to say anything during the public participation?
I'd just like to thank Sue and her staff for coming to my aid and getting the trash problem settled. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's what we're supposed to do, okay? Anybody else? All right. With that being
Make a
said.
motion to pay the bills.
And thank you for the presentation to my dad.
Yes, that was my honor, believe me. Do I hear a second?
I second.
We have a motion to second to pay the bills. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carries. Merry Christmas.